Hi, Jumbo. Welcome back to Jumbo Mama. And here we are at Mama Sarah's Story Time. Today you're going to hear chapters 5 and 6. Learn the language and keep your hat on. So learn the language. It's going to be interesting. It's really more about learning a handshake today. I'm going to give you just a little segment of that chapter. And the same thing, you got a segment of chapter 6 where we discover when it comes to baboons, you have to mind your behind. Okay, so do you notice something a little different today? Yep, we're not live. I'm just shooting the video in the corner and safety and privacy of my own home to see if I can circumvent some of the audio troubles that I've been having and other occasional issues. So we'll see how it goes. Hope you like it as much as I think I'm liking it already. I notice I feel more relaxed this way. At least I've always got that pause button, right? All right, so let's get going. Don't forget to follow me, comment. Facebook, Instagram is Jumbo Mama, and the YouTube channel is Mama Sarah's Story Time. 4 words, and you have to put that apostrophe in, otherwise you won't be able to find me. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, Mama Sarah says get a grip and mind your behind. Now, before I exactly start the reading of these 2 chapters, I want to say something. You know, right now the world seems rather torn asunder to me, and so I'm going to preface tonight's reading with a mission statement of sorts. So bear with me. Mama Sarah's Storytime is a YouTube channel that I started last year at the end of the year, which aims to bring people together around a story. It's a storytelling site that's currently supporting the 3 books that I wrote last year. The first book, Jumbo Mama, you have been hearing, and it tells the adventures I had growing up as a teenager in Nairobi, Kenya. The second book, which is illustrated by a friend, is The Little Askari. It's a fictitious tale of a young watchman and his mongoose Rafiki, his friend. The reason I'm trying to ooch along my videos right now is so that I can get Little Askari out onto the internet as well. And then the third book is called Meanwhile. It will take you back to the time in the 50s in the United States where I grew up in Wisconsin. I lived in 2 sort of contrary worlds, city mouse, country mouse, that kind of thing. And then why storytelling? Well, because it worked for me. I come from a long line of folks who love to laugh at their own jokes. We live to hear each other's spinnings and then weave them ourselves. It was and is about the words. And even when the words are unfamiliar to me, I still feel the texture of the story and I see the color in the action. So stories are, for me, my comfort food. And there's nothing that I want more than to try to bring some element of comfort to the world today. I think, now that I'm actually thinking about it, that I've taken to expressing myself in this venue because I want to contribute in whatever small way that I can to help people better understand one another. And I want peace for the world, as I bet you do too. So I retired from elementary school teaching in public schools, and I still feel as if my message is as important today as it was then. Wait a minute. It's way more urgent today. If we ever needed a wave or a handshake, it is now. So if any part of my story strikes a note with you in any one of the collections, please share this, share the tale, and give me feedback. Let me know you're there, all right? Okay, here we go. Chapters 5 and 6, handshakes, baboons, and tea. All right, I want to point out to you, I'm trying to get some links going for you on the Jumbo Mama page and over onto YouTube. Links to The Perfect Handshake, Treetops Reservations, a link to Treetops Hotel, which is a book by Major Walker about treetops, and a nice recipe for chai. By the way, today I'm having my chai in my Kenya mug. This blows my mind. It was given to me my very first year of teaching, and look how well it's held up. I'm having, by the way, a spot of chai in my kahawa mug. Gotta be me. All right, here we go. Certain cultural exchanges are just more fun in Swahili. Saying hello, for instance. First, there's no such thing as the word jambo delivered without a genuine smile and a lilt to the voice that indicates happiness with the encounter. You'd be thought to be on your deathbed if you sounded like that, and it would initiate a flood of possibly undeserved sympathy. Every person probably started honing their greeting mojo from the moment they could stand, style brewing in each individual from day one. There is a wonderful fanfare involved when a Kenyan greets someone. First of all, a greeting is warm and welcome, never guarded or disingenuous. The handshake is a three-part move which varies with each individual's delivery. It starts with the right hand up in the air and swings down across the body to meet the receiver's hand. The last phase is the up and down part of the movement we would call the pump. Now, I'm not going to get out of my chair and demonstrate this because I would just probably fall right over, but you'll get the idea. The pump is accompanied by a wonderful sound that comes deep from the throat, not like a growl, more like a wavy grunt. Eh. The sound has forward motion and it has texture. It is also completely unique, so that one could be recognized by their sound, the same way that you know your parents' voice or their footsteps or your child's. Women typically delivered a tamer version of the vocalization, but we got such a genuine thrill in sharing this cultural wonder of the world that Mom and I indulged in the men's routines. Me too. It was the right thing to do, we soon learned, because that way everybody had a blast. Longtime friends required an obligatory stop to practice and perfect the handshake, which would become, in short time, a marriage of the two salutations. Mom and I started developing ours just as naturally as a mother and daughter would. Adam and I worked up a routine that looked like a martial arts drill. The vocal part of the Kenyan greeting starts the moment eye contact is made, no matter the span between them. Both parties sing out, "Jambo sana," drawing out the ah syllable as long as the breath allowed or wanted, and accompanied by a wave, always. "Habari gani?" inquires the receiver. The answer is, "Very good, mazuri sana." By now the greeters are in full contact and both right hands are raised to their peak, ready to descend again on the ah syllable. This is all done with no regard for time, so that an encounter may be drawn out for many seconds. Meetings to innocent motorists seem to happen in the most inconvenient places, but looking out for these mini reunions came to be the norm for us, and we soon found ourselves also participating in the Nairobi national greeting, dodging oncoming traffic along with everyone else enthusiastically. So that's all I'm going to give you of that chapter, but I encourage you to go to chapter 5 because, remember, there is a Swahili guide for you, and I've made it very, very friendly, even with phonetic pronunciations. I have given you, I think it is 39 words, which is precisely 38 words more than I received from the American Embassy when we moved there in 1967, which is a bit of a bone of contention with me, but I've gotten past it, and I managed to survive on the Swahili that I learned in the streets, at the schools, with my friends. So there you go. Take that, and hopefully you have fun with that, but you might want to check out Swahili today. Swahili Speak is called Sheng, S-H-E-N-G, and it looks like a nice sort of evolution of the language that I was so familiar with. Okay, I'm going to take you to the trees now, to tree tops. You've probably heard of it. It's where Queen Elizabeth was hanging out the day she found out she was to be on the throne. That has a different meaning in Kenya, but never mind. Okay, in 1968, that lodge was still owned and operated by Major Walker, the person who built it. Its original site in which we stayed was constructed of half-cut natural wood logs exposed on both sides. It was very rustic, especially compared to today's treetops, but it was still quite comfortable. The Major joined us for dinner every night, mostly for the female companionship, giving my dad a run for his money. We all went along with his attentions because in return, he regaled us with the most incredible tales of his hunting expeditions. Some of them made me a little queasy. Dining with Major Walker was like what I imagine spending the evening with the explorer Sir Richard Burton would be. The Major may have been one of the last true hunter-explorers that occupied East Africa in previous years. He sure looked the part, in full uniform all day, sporting ribbons and medals everywhere. He must have been hot, and he was also a little sodded most of the day, which made his presentation too civilian to be believable. I shouldn't tease. I would have been much more teetery had I been living with the baboons and birds all those years. I don't think he got out much. Major Walker made a great fuss over me because of winning the school raffle. He should have been making the biggest to-do over my parents, who had to pay for the other night as well as get us there. We were sitting with the Major on the second afternoon for high tea. The tables and benches overlooking the watering hole were covered with animal print cotton fabric, and for once, the world was prettier inside than out. Dry season was beginning, and already the browns had overwhelmed the greens. There wasn't much water in the hole. Animal traffic was down. The watering hole still relied on range, just as the animals did. We had already gotten a bit spoiled by being so up close to everything that we felt a bit stuck up in the trees. No place to go but down. Nothing to do with the monkeys. However, everyone looked forward to tea. The most delectable tiny sandwiches, pastries, and biscuits were served, time to fill up before the long stretch until dinner. We held the tiny plates in our laps and our teacups and saucers in our hands, and we chatted with each other. It was all just so dainty. We should have known that mayhem was about to strike because that was the norm in East Africa. What were we thinking? There probably is, by now certainly, a word of caution on the door leaning to the rooftop, but what happened next was so quick that no one had a chance to defend anything, least of all themselves or their plates. My mother had just climbed the 5 steps to the outside. The moment she cracked the door, a baboon, which was very interested in tea, too, burst right through, pushing her down the stairs back into the lodge. He dashed right around the perimeter of the room, upsetting every dish and person there. No one had a speck of food left on their plates. Dishes were scattered and broken. Wah! We all screamed naturally, "Don't abuse us!" The baboon made it back out of the room with all of his loot before any of us knew what had even hit. Whoa! Did you hear that, Adam? I just heard him laugh. I did. I heard that damn monkey laugh. My poor mum was at the bottom of the stairs. We helped her up and she limped back to her room. Even with packing her thigh in ice, she still had a great deal of pain and a massive bruise over her entire thigh, front and back, and over her bum. Major Walker delivered her next cup of tea himself. "Dear, dear, oh my, we can't have this now, can we? Oh my, no, let's have a spot of tea. Everything's better with a cuppa. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear." And the 3 of us marched after him, Dad first, down the hall, stomping our feet in a grumbly dance, chanting, "Down with baboons, down with baboons, down with baboons." Well, sometimes that's all you got. So thank you for joining me today. Oh, you want to know what happened with Adam, don't you? Did he survive his trip to the deck? Well, guess what? I'm a businesswoman, so you've got to get online and go to Amazon.com, and you're going to have to either get the free Kindle book, it's only free until Sunday, the 19th, so watch out, or buy the paperback, cheap, and find out what happened to Adam on the deck. Okay? Good. Now I'm going to do one more brave thing, and I'm going to go off set, and I'm going to play that piece of music I've been wanting you to hear in honor of my brother, Chris Mickey, who had a birthday on the day that we originally recorded this. This is a piece of his called Grasshopper. Okay, don't forget to follow me on Jumbo Mama at Instagram and Facebook. Don't forget to go to Mama Sarah Storytime on the YouTube channel. Don't forget to keep your eyes peeled for the Little Ascari, which is coming soon. I think that's everything. But remember, you don't have to be a child to enjoy their books. For now, kwaheri ako nana, which is a lovely way to say goodbye until I see you again. Hang on, it's coming.